Hey everybody out there in the internet world, and welcome to another of my Dark Avengers comic book reviews. We are finally shooting episode 99.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and as you guys can see, since Mike's sitting here, that means we've got the tripod set up, meaning we can shake the table and not have to worry about the camera moving. So, since this is the 99th episode of my Dark Avenger comic book review, only one more to go, and I have my friend Ailments to thank for this wonderful number one. This is her.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I hate when iPod touches.
We have a little technical.
There we go.
There we go.
This is her profile picture, and that's what she looks like. There you go. Thank you very much, Ailments, for the wonderful Spider-Man with the Superboy shirt underneath the number one logo throwing now. Sorry, I do that to everybody. Don't think it's any type of a show of an insult. I've done it to Amber's too. So, one more episode to go, and funny story, we're actually shooting this dead center of this week.
Oh yeah.
Today is actually the 28th of September. My 100th comic book review episode, comic books, are coming out today. They're out right now. They haven't been shipped yet, but they'll be here.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully. These comic books I received today, which makes me worry about when my 100th episode comic books will be getting here. Problem is, Midtown shipping late because of the overwhelming demand for the DC number ones.
Oh god.
They still have the warning up to next week, which is now the number twos are starting, and already the warning is still up. The post service is having trouble. I hear they got a lot of pink slips.
Oh.
Oh.
Yikes.
Yeah. So this is late. But the funny story is I got my comics. I got two other packages that I ordered for my 100th episode that I didn't think would make it here. And then finally today, we got the world's largest meh at the end of the day. So that kind of rounded everything perfectly out today.
Boy, don't you feel special getting lots of things?
You know, yes, but I paid for it all, so I really don't feel that special.
Well, it's worth it.
Very true.
So yeah, let's...
So... Yeah. The comics I'll be reviewing in this episode on the 28th are comic books that were released on September 21st. Last Wednesday, this comic review, I apologize guys, is a couple of days late, and I hope you guys are still checking this episode out. I'm praying really hard that my 100th episode comics come early. I set the mail to priority, so hopefully it will get here soon. We have a freaking humongous stack of comics this week.
Which some I'll be giving opinions.
Yes, Mike did look through some of the DC Comics ones. That's why he's sitting next to me. So let's get into this. Remember, guys, the week of the 21st, and I'm giving you guys a warning right now. The DC Comics, most of them are sold out. So if you like what you see here, you're going to be looking on eBay and Amazon for a lot of this stuff. The conclusion of a series this week, the final issue of Soldier Zero, number 12. In this issue, it all rounds out. It was Soldier Zero, Stewart versus the Inheritors, and most of the whole fight, most of the whole book is the epic fight, and the Inheritors, in the end, basically bow out of destroying the world because they realize that Stewart is the Soldier Zero, not a Soldier Zero, the Soldier Zero. And basically now he says he's preparing for when they return, or whenever this war, which they mentioned is going to happen, this galactic war that's going to start on Earth and it's going to reach out. Artwork is beautiful. I want to find that. The artwork, once again, is beautiful in this book. I'm glad the camera's closer. I feel like I can actually reach out and...
Yeah, there's no zoom in because it's a tripod.
Yeah, but the artwork's beautiful. The story was really good. I feel bad that this is going, but you know, it says the end, but there can be more to this story. Will it come back at some point? I hope so. It'll probably be another number one, and they'll probably have to change the title, but I really liked Soldier Zero. It was really good. The whole story's over. The crossover, I guess. Yeah, this story's over, but there's still the Traveler, and there's still Starborn, which have to reach their 12th. I believe next week, Starborn is coming out, and the Traveler, I believe, is coming out. No, next week, which is the 100th episode, is the Traveler. The week after that, which is in 2 weeks. 2 episodes will be... See, this is what happens when comic books come late, because I say next week, and you guys are thinking the next episode, but really it's 2 episodes from now.
Wow, my brain just went all over the place. Oh, man.
But this was a really good series, guys. Check the trade paperback when it comes out. I loved it. Now, moving into something new. Transformers number 26. Now, once again, we're jumping into a different story this time because every other issue is a different story. This is going to confuse the hell out of people who haven't been doing this for a long time, who haven't been doing this for a while now. This story, we go back to the Chaos on Cybertron. And basically, Optimus Prime separates the Autobots into groups. Some go to make a base. Others he sends to spy on Galvatron, and Rodimus makes the suggestion that since there's shit going on in space, they should go up into space.
Wow.
And watch them so they'll be fully rounded. A lot of blowout fights here. You know, I've been told I give a lot of too many spoilers away, so if you notice, Mike, I'm actually giving less of what goes on in the book and more of my opinion of how I like it. So people actually, so I'm not actually telling you guys everything that happens in the book, so this way you can go out and buy it and still be surprised at certain things. Certain Autobots do die. 2 scientist Autobots who have to actually blow up this kind of cannon that, it's not hurting the Autobots, but it is, if it keeps shooting, it's going to either knock Cybertron off its axis or worse, destroy the planet. Question is though, what was it really shooting at for? What was it? What was the goal? Where was it shooting for? I think there's something in the planet.
Lots of explosions and 3D effects are like.
And here's a spoiler: Megatron breaks free of the
oh wow, Megatron
confinements of the Autobots, and this is what Megatron looks like now. It's going to be on the next cover. I'm sure those of you who are Transformers fans already saw the covers that are going to be coming out. Here's the cover, as a matter of fact. Saw the covers that are going to be coming out for the next 2 months. So this is no shocker to you. Next one, Transformers 27 is the last story on Earth, and then 28 comes back to where we're at right here. I don't understand why they didn't just separate it into different titles. I really don't.
Well, that's IDW, I guess.
I love this series. I love this story. I love the artwork. The artwork's a little dark, but it's good
in a way of like the 3D.
I mean, seriously, look how they make Optimus Prime look. You can't make Optimus look any.
There was one page. Right
here. Any more like Optimus. Seriously, Optimus looks like Optimus Prime, and they are in space, so technically it is dark. You can't get really brightness from space, especially when there's no sun. So yeah, and then there's advertisements for Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Which is, guess what? Gonna be in the 100th episode. Number 1 is going to be in the 100th episode. I'm so happy my 100th episode has Ghostbusters number 1. It has a number 1, and it has several other great comics.
And hopefully it'll be good too.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be good.
Of course.
So guys, check out Transformers, and you make sure you keep an eye on the time. Michael and me have to use a timer now, through my cell phone, of course. Which is going to tell us when we're at 28 minutes, and we're going to have to switch to the next part because my camera just decides to shut itself off after 28. I've been waiting for this.
I read that too.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 2. More of the origin of how the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles became the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Foot make an appearance in the past, in the flashback reference, where they show Splinter as still as a rat who scratches the eye of one of the Foot people. If you remember the movie at all, the person who gets scratched turns out to be the Shredder. Also in this book, we go back to Raphael, who I think he has a... He tells Casey, by the way, he saves Casey Jones from his drunken father. Which I told you guys last time.
Knockout.
So, from what Raphael says, I don't know if he's saying it just to Casey Jones to pretend that he doesn't know who he is anymore, or if he seriously doesn't know who he is anymore. Because remember, Casey actually says to him in here, so you really don't remember who you are. So I don't know if he's actually pretending not to know who he was.
Didn't they say that in the movies as well?
No, in the movies, yeah, but he didn't pretend he didn't know who he was.
Oh, because he did, right.
Right. See here, he says it right here. So you're homeless and you can't remember your name, huh? And then and then there's more to the dialogue, but I'm gonna skip it. And he's like, yeah, it's tough, I guess. So, yeah, and Raphael's kind of surprised that Casey Jones isn't freaking out that he's a turtle, like a mutant, and Casey isn't freaking out and running away. Casey's like, oh, you get used to it, it's New York. And then there's these 2 pages are all Splinter. I'm sorry, spotlight on Splinter. I love this writer. This writer has him. Mike Eastman does him perfectly. His name is Mike, by the way.
Really?
Hmm? Oh, Kevin Eastman. Oops.
Oh, it's Kevin.
No, I made a mistake. I meant Mike or somebody. Anyway, Kevin Eastman. Anyway, he's the writer, right? He's the penciler. I just saw pencil. No, story by Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz. Yes, I don't bother myself with the names of the writers or the artists or stuff like that until after I've read the book. I just got these today, so I ran through all of them so I can give you guys episode 99. But this story is written perfectly, and the scene with Splinter is perfect. Classic
storyline.
Splinter. Classic Splinter. The way he teaches his the turtles, the way he explains how they're never going to be whole until they find Raphael and their family circle's complete, and he's explaining all this. His wisdom, that's the word I was looking for, is amazing. So in the end, you get one cameo. I'll give you one little spoiler of Casey Jones in the mask. So Casey Jones makes his appearance in the mask with the mask and everything. By the end, I'm excited for issue 3. I'm loving IDW. There's another series that was recommended to me a long time ago that I didn't look into, and then I saw a trailer on YouTube for a TV series that was going to be based off of it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Which Fox, of course, canceled after a while anyway, because Fox says yes to something and then says no. I got the first book for the 100th episode, and I loved it. And we'll talk more about that later. But IDW, wow, where have you been all my life? I swear, I must have been too busy with Marvel and DC. Jumping into Marvel and DC now, Ultimate Comics X-Men #1 I could not get into. As much as I tried, it's the government's fault that the mutants are mutants. It's a gene that the government created in the Ultimate Universe only. Don't get yourself too excited. I couldn't get into it. I got the baggie, of course, no signature. Wolverine's son isn't in it. Jean is trying to pull a Professor Xavier and recruit mutants to try to do what Charles Xavier did, and it doesn't work. There's a scene where she's actually going to interview for one of the children, and the parents did something that, you don't need this. I'm sorry, but in my opinion, this is the first and last Ultimate comic, Ultimate X-Men comic I'm getting, and Human Torch, Shadowcat, and Iceman decide they're gonna go up and save the mutants that are being captured, because Rogue is one of the newer ones that have been captured, so they're gonna go save Rogue and everybody up there. Does not interest me anymore. I'm sorry. It just, the Ultimate Universe just is done. I'm done. That's the last #1.
Sometimes the Ultimate Universe comics, like I've noticed, are for you a little. I mean, I could understand because they just changed the whole thing around. It's really like a mess.
It is. Another comic that really didn't interest me. I read only a bit of it and then I just got bored and put it down. I'll probably pick it up again later. But Spider Island, Spider Woman one shot. It's unnecessary really to the Spider Island story. It has Spider Woman in it. It has the FF in it. It has the Avengers, a few Avenger references in it. I got bored from reading it after a while. A few people actually told me it wasn't good. I said I wanted to give it a shot anyway. It's a one shot. There's no fight between the Thing and Spider Woman. So.
Wow. Cover mislead.
Oh yeah, that's the problem. Misleading covers. Another story that's kind of wearing sort of thin, but not bad thin. It's alright, but I'm praying it doesn't go into more than like 1 or 2 more parts, because they're throwing the X-Men books at us now because they have to get ready, because after Schism they're going to separate into 2 teams.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Don't you know? X-Men #18. So Doom is working with the Scorpius people now, and basically he's going to help them get to our Earth, and then they have to help him rule the Earth. That's the whole point of Doom. It's classic Doom.
So it's just taking over the world.
But I have a feeling it's a twist that's gonna twist again, where Doom is tricking them into thinking that he wants, you know what I mean? Like he went to them and said, you know what, I want to rule the world, I'll help help you here, you help me there. But then when they think they're gonna go there, he's gonna trick them, and it was a whole trick all along.
I was gonna say that. Yep. Kind of a little obvious.
So Savage and Wolverine and the Thing go after the Scorpions, like they go to them to stop them once and for all, and of course he beats them. And the last saying is, when we conquer Doom's world, it will be important to show our new subjects just how meaningless their superheroes are. And that's the last page, where they're all captured.
Good way to leave it on a cliffhanger there.
Yeah. And they're still doing the 9/11. I think they're doing it for the whole month. So next week will probably be the end of the 9/11 tributes, but still good. It's a good story. I just hope they don't drag it out too much, because it's already, in my opinion, wearing a bit thin. It's like, okay, I would, ooh, Guru.
Wow.
It's a broke BBZ 13 gaming reference.
Check it out.
I think this book could have ended right here, but like they should have ended the story right here. That they might be stretching a few details out, but if it ends in the next part, I'll be happy, and that'll be it. But I don't think it's. I think it has 2 more parts to it, which is fine too. Just after 2 parts, I wouldn't suggest making it another 3 parts. This book was pretty good. Uncanny X-Men number 543. In this book, Colossus is now has the powers of Juggernaut. And basically, Juggernaut gets those powers taken away from him, but he still looks like Juggernaut because he has the power of the hammer, of the Serpent King's hammer. And in this book, it's a couple of pages worth of Juggernaut comes back to Earth after I'm calling him Juggernaut already. Colossus Juggernaut comes back to Earth after becoming Juggernaut, which Scott didn't know about, and Shadowcat is pissed off at Scott about. Everybody's getting pissed off at Scott, and that's what's going to happen when I mention the next book.
Why.
I don't like Scott, and he's becoming more and more like Magneto. Was.
Yeah, but...
I'll explain. We'll talk about that in this book.
He's just not...
Yeah, let's talk about that in this book. Let's talk about that in this book.
Yeah, we'll wait for that.
Okay, so in here, it's Colossus and Juggernaut have a fallout brawl. It takes up most of a lot of the middle of the book. And Namor actually helps snap Emma Frost out of her thing. I won't say how he did that, but you guys really should.
Who would help Emma Frost?
He would.
Well, yeah.
Look, he would. Yeah. Guys, check this book out. Spoiler, there's a way Namor snaps her out of
I'm not going to say no more.
Right. Oh, and for some messed up reason, Colossus is now bald.
Are you... Are you kidding me?
So, in the end, basically, Colossus beating the crap out of the guy. But because he took him off his path, the path implodes on Juggernaut and he disappears. It'll probably all be resolved at the end of Fear Itself. And spoiler here, I will say this. Shadowcat breaks up with Colossus because she wants somebody who's willing to sacrifice his life for her, but at the same time still wants to at least consider living, like not always saying, I'll go kill myself, I'll give my life, you know, somebody who's willing to say, I'm gonna live, I want to live. You know what she means. You want somebody that is willing to fight, but at the same time who wants to live, not throws himself into every kamikaze mission there is.
And show confidence as well.
Not even confidence, just confidence that he wants to live.
Your confidence of wanting to live is what I meant, and that's...
It was good. There was a scene at the end with Cyclops and the mayor of San Francisco. We're good? Okay. Really, wow. You got to see the end where... but not permanent, just temporarily. He didn't see the book yet, that's why I just wanted to whisper that to him, because I don't know if he's going to remember to look at this later. Wow. I'm being honest with you, the way they're making Cyclops' character out, looking a lot like Magneto. Especially in X-Men Schism, number 4 or 5. In this book, it turns out the Sentinel can't be stopped, and it has no main target except one place. Utopia. And that's where it's going. Utopia. So Cyclops wants to prepare everybody to fight. Now these are kids on this island. They're kids. They're literally kids.
Kids that have mutant powers? Or?
Yeah, kids. Kids with mutant powers. Kids. And Cyclops is like, okay, all right, we can do this. And Wolverine comes out of the ocean. He just comes back as the Sentinel whacked him into the ocean. He's like, oh, no, they're not. Not with children. He's like, we're not fighting this. And Cyclops is like, yes, we can fight. And he's like, not with children. All of a sudden, Wolverine went from being like that savage, crazy guy to like a father figure. I like that. I like that.
Well, that's
but
what
it changes his character a bit, but it changes him in a good way. And they're arguing, and this Sentinel, as they're arguing, is getting closer and closer, and they're still fighting.
Never take your eyes off your enemies. Or enemy.
Mm-hmm. And basically, Wolverine storms off and figures out a way to really get Scott to listen. And then, of course, as always, the one thing that sets it all off, just read the bottom panel while I'm telling them this, the one thing that would set Wolverine finally, you know, there's so many things that you can throw between Wolverine and Cyclops before you get the fight. What causes the what breaks the straw? What's the straw that broke the camel's back? When Cyclops brings up Jean Grey. Somebody who's been dead for 6 years. He's like, she never loved you. She was more frightened of you than loved you. And then Wolverine comes back and says, oh yeah? Well, who do you think she'd be more frightened of now? And that's when the fight starts. Oh, and the fight takes up the rest of the book. All the way until the last page.
Just to give
the cover actually works perfect. That's how the book ends, the cover.
Just to make a quickie, Wolverine will definitely own Cyclops. Claws own everything.
Nobody's gonna die because it's gonna separate into two teams after next month. Well, after Schism's over. Yeah. I love Schism. Finally, somebody's willing to tell Scott Summers he's an asshole and just break away from him. The only upsetting part is the artwork for Wolverine and the X-Men I do not like.
Which one?
Wolverine and the X-Men. I don't like the book's artwork so far. The previews, which is going to be bad, but maybe it's just the first story arc. You know how artists change it after a first arc?
And then they come...
yeah, so hopefully they'll change. What do we have? Let me see.
We have 6 minutes.
Okay, we're fine. I want to finish Marvel. We only have like...
I'll put the
4 books from Marvel. Oh yeah, it's fine. Avengers number 17, concluding Fear Itself. Now, Fear Itself is over in this book. Avengers versus Sin, most of the book. In the very end, it scared me the most, though. It's like, what's it called? The very last... The next book is going to be called the... They were giving a preview of the... Who Are the Avengers? They're going to pull a new team together, I think. Which isn't going to... Yeah, Who Are the Avengers? Because they're all... I think now that Bucky's dead...
Why even change?
Captain America's going to be on so many teams. I don't think he's going to be willing to do it. I actually got used to this artwork now. I'm pretty okay with John Romita's art, John Romita Jr.'s art now. So I can live with this, I guess.
It's okay, I guess.
It's all right. I got used to it. Just Luke Cage's face kind of looks like a pumpkin. It does. It really does. So Sin disappears at the end, before the fight's over, the end, and now it's like, where do we go from here? What are we going to do? And I love the ending where Cap's like, are we done here? I have a full day ahead of me. That's a nice statue, yeah. $209.
Oh, forget it. They could keep it.
So we'll find out in Avengers number 18 what they're going to be doing with the team, who's going to be on the team, if anybody's going to be on the team. I have no idea why they have this cover. It's they're both together, but yeah. So it was really good. I enjoyed it. I liked the artwork. You know, it was a big fight between the Avengers and Sin. Even the new Avengers actually guest star in this. So they're all teaming up for the same thing, to stop the Serpent King and his people. And Spider-Man's like, I don't know, now everything feels okay. Now that everything's done, everything feels alright. Also, let's finish off Fear Itself first. Uncanny X-Force 3 of 3. This guy wanted to save the world by killing everybody, mutants and humans alike, and X-Force stops him. And I'm not going to tell you guys how the whole story ended, but let's just say they stopped him.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the body, that's the head.
I see.
So they stopped him in the end, and I think this was a nice little side story. This and Wolverine I enjoyed, and Spider-Man. Those are the 3 tops for me as far as side stories go for Fear Itself. Just wanted to throw that out there. It was a good book. Artwork was all better in this part than it was in the last part. The artwork kind of had me 50-50. This was good. This was really good. So I enjoyed the artwork here. Elseworld story time. Marvel Universe vs. Wolverine, part 4 of 4. Really good. It ended great. It was another fight between Wolverine and Deadpool versus the Hulk. And Deadpool got the sickness, but because Deadpool has a healing factor, the cannibalism sickness where he
right.
And he's fighting it, Deadpool, and Logan's like, I trust you. Don't mess around with my trust, or I will put you down. And it turns out he gets his arm back. I'm not gonna say how. Yeah, it's fine, because the Hulk was wearing it around his neck as a trophy sort of thing. So, you know, Wolverine got it back, put it on his arm, probably it healed up perfectly. Really good mini. I enjoyed it. Cap. Oh my god, the scene between Frank Castle and Cap.
Frank Castle and Cap had it?
Captain America. Frank Castle wasn't affected. You were here. He's not affected by the sickness, but Cap didn't.
No, but I didn't know that.
Get so lucky. Okay.
Well, he punishes things.
He saved him. He really did save him. And that's that. Good story. I'm just trying to get Marvel out of the way so the next part will be dedicated just to DC. How many minutes do we have left?
Let's see, a minute.
I have 2 minutes, really 3 because it goes up to 29. Captain America #3. I'm still loving this. Cap is fighting America Droid. I can't pronounce it. The huge android that looks like Captain America. You Marvel people know this. And Sharon and
little tongue twister.
Yeah, Sharon. I feel better now. I forgot. Baron shows up. He's facing her, and what do you call it? And Captain America's fighting the android. Cap takes the android out, and the Baron throws Sharon off. I hope I'm saying it's the right name, Sharon, and not something else, because that would be making me look really stupid right about now. Yeah. I'm sorry, but if I'm saying her name wrong, I apologize. I'm just running through all these books this week. So they take America and the android in, and they try, and they're observing it to see how it got here, why it's here, etc., etc. And in the end, basically, Cap and the android get sucked into the boy's dream world because they somehow activate it through a machine, even though the boy's in like some type of a catatonic state. And it ends where they're in the dream world. And that's that. To be continued. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Looking forward to the next one. There's no way out because now they're both in the dream world.
Pretty interesting.
Really good. And we're at 28 minutes. The timer is up, so go near the camera, Mike.
Okay.
Guys, Captain America 3, I'll talk about it a little bit at the beginning of the next part, but for this part, I'd absolutely say get it. It's really good, and it's really fun. So guys, we'll see you in the next part for DC, and we've got a lot of DC. See you there.